live. A lot of coming up in the season two, and this is the tournament that Toronto deserves.
Absolutely.
This is
This
going to be
is
great.
definitely something that we're going to plan on doing once a month, right?
Yes.
So we're going to do this every single month for all of season two, going up to regionals and also the North American
Yeah.
Championships. So
Showcasing Toronto GTA skills. We've got people like King IV, Dragon Sylph, Jeff Cho.
Juan, 20, our Montreal Safari Cup
Yes.
tournament winner.
Right? Simply Moxie. So many people to name. We don't want to leave anybody off, but we're very excited to get into the battles.
And we also have very not as great competition here as well. We also have Scrub Lord Dustin here.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. No, it's not us. So we're just getting ready to see the battles here.
Seeing what's going on with this tournament right now. We're gonna get started.
Let's take a look at some of the teams here. It's very different for us to see the teams. Obviously, no one. We do have some people ranked, but most people, this is their first tournament so early in the month, and I just want to check out some teams here.
Which Pokemon do you think you're gonna see very, very common in this tournament?
Oh, of course, Marowak, Driftblim for the Ghost, and we will see a lot of Steelix and Bastiodon.
Absolutely, because
Yeah,
Steelix is good, right?
very good, especially for this cup. And a lot of people, it seemed, were hesitant to run Bastiodon, but it just walls a lot of those ghosts. I've even seen both of them on the team of six, Bastiodon and Steelix.
Hmm. I think Poliwrath is gonna be a huge asset in this cup.
For sure. Even with
Absolutely.
the nerf of Power Up Punch, right? It still has a variety of moves. I've seen you run Hydro Pump.
Poliwrath is
I like
huge.
Dynamic Punch. You have the Ice Punch as well. So
Mhm.
a big variety of move sets for Poliwrath, right? It still has
I think
a variety of
Ice
moves.
Punch is gonna
I've
be a
seen you
huge one
run
for
Hydro Pump.
Poliwrath.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like
Right.
Dynamic Personally like Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch. It's still early on, and I've seen you run. I don't want to give any J for Mac secrets, but
I
Hydro Pump
think
you like.
Ice Punch. I started off running Hydro Pump
Yeah,
more for
I
the end
personally like
game,
Ice
but
Punch
now
and Dynamic
I've
Punch.
actually
It's
started
still
using
early
them
on, and I've seen
more
you
as an
run.
intro
I don't want to give
and
any J for
running
Mac
Ice
secrets, but
Punch and
Hydro
Power Up
Pump you
Punch.
like. Yeah,
Ice Punch.
season two
I
has been
started
kicked
off
off
running
the right
Hydro
way. The
Pump
same way
more
we
for
finished
the
season
end
one.
game,
A
but
lot of
now
tournaments going
I've
bigger
actually
and better.
started using them
Yesterday we had a
more as an
tournament in
intro
Cali. Right
and
now, New
running
York's going
Ice
down.
Punch
We
and
got players
Power
like
Up Punch.
Valor
Season
House
two has
Star,
been kicked off
so
the
many
right way.
skilled
The same
players
way
there.
we
And now
finished
we
season
have
one,
a
but
tournament
a lot
here
of
in
tournaments going
Toronto,
bigger and
one
better.
that we deserve.
Yesterday we had a tournament in Cali.
Right
Absolutely.
now, New York's
These
going
tournaments
down.
are
We got
huge.
players like
Season two
Valor
has begun
House
with
Star,
just such
so many
huge
skilled players
numbers,
there. And
just
now we have
absolutely
a tournament
crazy
here in
numbers.
Toronto,
Like
one that we
New York,
deserve.
130 something
Yeah,
players, right? We have Toronto, 100 players here,
yeah,
right? And like Cali, you said yesterday, right?
yeah. They had around 30 plus, so they got their six. They were at least 32, so they got their
Absolutely.
6 rounds. And yeah, 100 battlers here today in Toronto, showcasing so much skill. So we're very hyped to bring everyone the battle. So again, thank you for joining us today. It's going to be a good one.
It's definitely gonna be great. We have a lot
Yeah,
of huge competition here. I can't wait to see these battles go down, especially because it's so early in the month. The meta has been formed, but there hasn't been as much time as a late tournament to be able to practice to
right.
see these battles go down, especially because it's so early in the month.
Everybody's
The
coming in
meta
with like,
has been formed,
I
but there
think I'm
hasn't been as
ready.
much time as a late tournament to be able to
Yeah,
practice.
so early
Right.
on in the meta, right? The meta is shaping up, but you may think your team of six is good until you bump into a couple maybe off meta picks, and we've
Absolutely.
seen that in New York, like some slow bro. Uh,
Slow
um,
bro has been a big one for sure.
yeah, and I thought slow bro was just a confusion, but I've seen people run water gun, which will really throw you off. And we know Niantic is listening, right? We have the Sinister Cup announced, and then mysteriously, Power Up Punch gets nerfed, Thunder Fang on Steelix, Fire Spin on Marowak. So they have given a lot of Pokemon that's in the Sinister meta some new moves to shake things up a little bit.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I think Niantic is watching. They're
Yeah,
seeing exactly what Sylph is doing, what their cup is, and they're like, you know what? Let's shake it up a little bit.
absolutely. So we're just trying to get these streams, the battles on stream here. And the tournament is underway here in Toronto. We're just looking to see the featured table battles. So they're just getting everyone set up right now before we can see those.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Canada getting a piece. They should hopefully be able to compete worldwide with, maybe not quite as big as the Argentina tournaments, but it's
All
going to be
right.
very nice to have a 7 rounder here in
Yeah,
Toronto.
Canada getting a piece. They should.
It's great to see that Canada is actually going up, especially with the Montreal Safari Cup starting in,
Yeah,
making it one of the biggest tournaments in North America. Now coming to Toronto, and Toronto's just gonna just hit it up, try to get these 100-man tournaments to do this every single month,
yeah.
right? So
What
you,
a Sorry to cut you off.
no, no,
What
go
a,
ahead,
what
go
a
ahead.
great experience Montreal was, and of course Pittsburgh inviting, and now we get a home game here at Toronto. We're at home. We get to showcase Toronto's talent, and I know I've said that a few times, but we're just so hyped to see who will come out on top. Right? We
We are in home court. You know
Yeah,
what I
home
mean?
court
Like
advantage.
home court advantage to see exactly who these players. I'm telling you, a lot of these players before they didn't have tournaments where they had 7 rounds, eight
Yeah,
rounds, right? They're so used to the 4, 5 rounds, maybe
yeah,
six,
yeah,
and now that kind of held them back when it came to world ranking.
for sure.
Now I guarantee you, with these type of tournaments, we're gonna see a lot of players going up from
Yeah,
Toronto and
yeah,
Canada in general,
yeah,
go up those rankings to top places, ace
yeah,
trainers. We're gonna definitely see that this.
yeah. Simply Moxie does 4 round tournaments in Ottawa, right? He won his regional. He won a giant Rainbow Cup in Chicago. He made the trip up to participate in this tournament, and yeah, like you said, it's going to help everyone's world rank. And world rank isn't the most important. It's really how you're going to do in your regional tournament potentially. But it is nice to be up there with some of the best.
Absolutely. Now I think we're just getting these battlers up and running, and we're just
Yeah.
getting them ready. Uh,
So we have 100K collector,
just trying
and
to
is
get
that
the stream up.
100K collector and I believe despicable, if I'm saying that right? Kind of a fitting name for this spooky Sinister Cup here. And let's take a look at his team: Dusclops, Poliwrath, Steelix, Medicham.
Going with double fighter.
Yeah, I tried that against you. It didn't work on the initial battle, but I see a lot of benefits to going two fighting or two ghosts or double up. You know what I mean? It just depends on what they're bringing. And put it on here.
Um,
Fix the. We got the wrong names too on there. So Despicable and 100K collectors.
100K collector
Just waiting for Despicable here.
to actually put his team locked in, see exactly what he's doing. Remember, we do know that 100K collector is running the double fighter, so let's see exactly what Despicable is actually gonna go into counter.
Thank you for confirming. I wasn't sure if I was saying that right.
Dude,
He's got the lucky team. He's got a lucky team here. Look at that. Lucky Marowak, Lucky Steelix, Lucky Haunter, Lucky Empoleon.
Lucky Empoleon. I don't know how that would be with the PvP IVs.
Yeah. Now I know shinies could potentially do more damage. I wonder how the luckies do.
I think Lucky's do less damage.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Put himself at a disadvantage. Save the Stardust.
Yeah,
Maybe do a little less damage here.
maybe be able to pull off more tournaments,
Yeah,
more Pokemon by pulling off this kind of
yeah.
lucky Pokemon kind of thing.
And he does have Haunter on his team. Haunter's ranked very high on PV Poke, but a lot of us were, hesitant to use it because of how much damage Confusion does. But I was creeping on the New York teams. Valor Ash is using it, so
The
uh,
thing is, from what I see here on his team, seeing that he has a Lucky Marowak, Lucky Steelix, Lucky Haunter, Lucky Empoleon.
yeah,
Now, I think Lucky Marowak probably won't be the top. Steelix as well, Haunter. But again, Empoleon, though,
yeah,
is using Waterfall, right?
yeah,
It's using Waterfall, which means it does want a high attack stat to be able to pull off a lot more damage, hit that break point, pull off more damage with just the fast moves. Because we know he might get to one charge move,
right.
maybe one, but that's pretty much it, right?
That's a great point. I didn't think about that actually. So, we've seen that in other tournaments, even with Wigglytuff in Jungle Cup. You want the high attack stat for a
Yeah.
break point to do a lot of damage, but that's a great point actually for Empoleon. So we're just gonna wait for him to lock into his team here.
I think we're just waiting to see to get these battles up,
Okay.
right?
Let's see if any of these first round matchups have finished though. It's not always about the featured table. very important, of course, but we want to see who is doing well in our tournament here. It's good to
This
see Scotty show up. He gets a win in round one.
Yeah, he
Oh,
fell off in a certain time during season 1, but now
yeah,
he's back in season 2, saying, "You know what? I'm coming in hard.
yeah,
Let's do this." Right. I want to actually highlight one specific player. Of course, we got Holden McGroin, right?
yeah,
Just super efficient player, like
yeah.
always doing top, always being top tier when it comes to these tournaments. Always either coming first or at least coming in the top 10, right?
Right.
Not even just top 10, top tables, right? But I want to pull off, show you guys one specific player. We have Straw Hat Luffy, and this player actually just started playing Pokemon Go 3 months ago.
Who's that?
Straw, where is he? Straw Hat Luffy.
Okay.
He started playing Pokemon Go about 3 months ago. He's level 35,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, level 35, and he is trying his best to see how he can do. And as we see right now, this is his first tournament, first ever Self Arena tournament, and he took
Wow.
a win in round 1.
That's awesome.
So, like, I have to break it. I have to say, like, he is top tier.
Well, if you do your research, everyone has a fighting chance to take out some of the top players, and that's what's really great about PvP. Of course, we know a lot of the bigger names, and people are very dedicated to come month after month, but we're really encouraging new players to come in. The only way for this to grow is have those new players. So even if your community is having very small tournaments, do what you can to reach out and just invite more to your tournament because it's just going to help the field overall.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. That's the only way to make PvP grow. It's the only way to get PvP to be an esport. We want to get more players in, get more people interested, more people to watch these live streams. We want people to watch these live streams, get
Yeah.
interested, learn from it, do better in these tournaments. And then once we get these star players, then we can start getting more like, specific, maybe even sponsorships.
Hopefully that'd be great. And even us, like we could easily come here and go 4-3, 5-2, maybe even win the tournament. But it's important for us to set up shop and stream and shoutcast these tournaments so you can see it at home. I think a lot of people learn from the YouTube content creators a lot, but to be able to see an actual tournament live or see some of these great players make these decisions live, it's going to give everyone a great perspective and help them in their tournament next weekend or at the end of the month, right? Not everyone's holding their tournaments on the 6th or that first weekend.
Exactly. We have these big tournaments happening early month. People are going to learn from this, see, hey, you know what? This Pokemon does really good. It really synergizes well with that Pokemon. And then from there, you kind of say, you know what? This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to learn how to counter that, right? At
Yes.
least I know that situation could pop up in a battle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a player like Caleb Peng or on the Cali live stream, Maroon Six popped in and just focused on taking down the meta. You guys did a round table on King's channel and you talk about like a lot of the things that are expected, but the really top players really like dive in and look for those counters to throw opponents off or, just do something out of the norm.
Exactly. And you know what? I feel like going out of the norm is the way to win a tournament. If you are going into matchups with Pokemon that are very, very familiar, people have been memorizing, they know the fast
Yeah.
move counting, right? They know what kind of charge moves they have. But again, sorry, going into that, now I'm going to start bringing you up to a different topic and start saying the new charge moves, the new fast moves that Niantic has dropped, right? These new moves have thrown everybody off,
Yeah.
right? Gets people to really adjust and see exactly, you know what? Oh, wait, now Steelix can actually do well against Poliwrath if
Yeah.
it has Thunderfang. Not saying that Thunderfang is the best move to use, but I guarantee you there are people in this tournament that do have Thunderfang on
Oh,
their
for
Steelix.
sure. Throws the opponent off. Mawile has kind of been running amok, but if you give your Marowak Fire Spin, it deals with Mawile a lot better.
Mhm.
And little off topic, it's a different tournament, but like Valor did Charge Beam over Water Gun. Everyone's running Water Gun on their Lantern, but this guy runs Charge Beam to get to the charge move faster. So it's nice to have options, and it just shows that Niantic is listening. So we appreciate Niantic for spicing things up because as long as they keep adding new move sets like Charm or different things, it'll help the meta. And then of course, thank you to Sylph because we're starting off season 2 with a bang in Toronto. And we just couldn't be more appreciative of those two big juggernauts helping our gameplay and create a lot of fun for us.
Exactly. Big shout out to Silpharina, right? Honestly, if it wasn't for the Silpharina, I don't see PvP being as big
No,
as it is right now, right? Hands
100%.
down, Hands down, it's going
Yeah,
to be given to Silph Arena, saying that you guys have actually made PvP what it is today.
yeah. And Niantic's putting in a PvP kind of matchup system. We don't know how it's going to look, but it's coming in the future. And not a lot of people, but I heard some people say, "Oh, GG, Sylph's done." No, Sylph is here to stay. There's no way we're not going to compete in these Sylph Cups because if you guys can't see it right now, but we've got 100 battlers to the left of us, and it's just a great experience. Even if you just go 3-3, the people have fun. The new players they have a great time when they do come out.
Absolutely. 100%. I completely agree with you. So let's see what's going on here. Like, are we picking teams?
I think they are.
Yes.
I think that's the challenge too to get new players. It's just getting them to the venue,
Yeah.
right? And we're still just waiting on the battlers to pick their team.
I see. I see Despicable starting off with a Charmeleon, Wartortle, and Ivysaur.
Yeah, the starters not qualified for this cup. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Mm, should.
Yeah, sorry for the delay, everyone. Maybe it gives us a chance to maybe check in on New York and see how they're doing. Oh, actually, no, let's stay on the Toronto thing because I saw a couple upsets in round one. We were talking about was it Simply Moxie? So we have New Archaic taking a win. He won the Toronto Regional from the Hamilton area. Dragon Silk taking a win in round one. Guan taking a win. Ben Sway.
All right. I think we're actually going to be starting
Okay,
the
here we
battle now.
go. Let's
Now,
do it.
from what I saw, Despicable actually led with Haunter, and he also has Bronzong in the back. This is actually going to be a pretty decent matchup, knowing that 100K Collector is running the double fighters.
Yeah.
Now, seeing he can decide to keep Haunter, actually farm with Haunter, swap in to the Bronzong.
What's he running on the Polyrath here?
This is a
Okay,
dynamic
dynamic
punch.
punch. Now, recently with the nerf of power up punch, that opened up Polyrath's moveset. We discussed that earlier, and
Absolutely, I think that the fighters, instead of becoming now more reliant on counter, they're actually becoming more reliant on actual direct fighting damage
yeah,
with dynamic punch, cross chop, right? That's why Primate has actually rose up in the
yeah,
rankings.
yeah. We saw that on your channel talking about Primate, and that was a great suggestion because again, it has opened the field up and given a Pokemon like Primate more life. It was already relevant, but so he's going with the power up punch here, and so he's going with the Psy Shock.
Psyshock taking out the Medicham, decide not to shield just because his HP is just way too low. It's not worth
Right.
it.
And it's good that he got his. Oh, I was gonna say it's good that his Polyrath got to avoid the confusion damage, but he brought him in versus Bronzong. So Haunter's
Now,
gonna
guys,
do a Shadow Punch.
we do understand that our voices are a little bit, I would say, behind. It's just because we are not seeing the stream live as of
All
yet,
right.
right? That is the main reason. We're still working on it. We're trying to get it up and running.
Oh man, I didn't realize that. Thank you for telling us that. Yeah, we expected to have it in front of us. It's okay. We're getting a few things set up, so we're just gonna watch and see how this plays out.
Now
Wow,
that Haunter,
hanging on. And we said, it's gonna take a little finesse to make Haunter work, even though it is so powerful. It's very squishy.
absolutely. Now Steel is coming in with the full Polyrath with a shield. This is pretty much game. I'm
Yeah,
gonna give this game to Despicable, saying that Polyrath against Steelix, there's no way out of it.
yeah. And thank you for everyone watching and understanding. It's great to have 72 people in the stream right away.
Absolutely. Thank you guys to everyone that's actually joining the stream. Thank you to Go Live for actually getting this
Yes.
all set up to be able to show exactly what Toronto's made of.
Yes, we're looking to do this monthly. So again, if you guys want to just, subscribe and make sure you're tuned in for future tournaments, and we'll make sure to have everything set up at the start. right?
So
So Despicable takes game one.
Despicable is going to definitely take game one. But now with new self rules, right? We are going to have 3 games.
Yeah,
Right? We will have 3 rounds, no matter what happens. Despicable could go 2-0, but we will still be going into round 3.
yeah.
Now, how are you feeling about that?
I mean, I've seen a lot of feedback from the community. For me personally, if it's gonna make it not a tie at the end and have an actual winner determined, that's what I like. But I don't know if that's actually happening because we saw in Cali there was like a four-way tie, and it didn't seem that the extra games determined an
Determine an
actual
actual
like
ranking.
right. So, but no, I guess it does actually. So I'm okay with it. Again, it's going to make tournaments a little longer, but if we can have a clear cut winner, when you've got four people, 4-1, you want to have a clear cut winner to take home the trophy.
Absolutely. I think when it comes to those 3 O's, 2 1s, 1 2s, I feel like that is more for the world ranking rather than the actual specific
Yeah.
tournament ranking. Now,
Okay.
it's an interesting matchup. Now, is this Alola Marowak actually going to be running Hex or is it going to be running Fire Spin?
That's a good
The
question.
Haunter is just
Yeah.
eating him alive. Just
Chunking away.
Haunter again, he's super squishy, but do not sleep on him. If you are not prepared for the Haunter, he will completely ruin you.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say should go for the Bone Club because he's gonna finish off and then save some of that energy that he built up, but he's gonna shield his Haunter, keeping it alive, and decide to switch. Nope. Looked like he was gonna switch.
Wow.
Is he gonna use his last shield here? He does. Wanting to maintain that switch advantage or keep his Marowak alive?
He wants to keep that Marowak alive. He wants to maintain the switch advantage, win
Yeah.
the lead.
Okay, it's a good call saving his shield.
But again, that Alola Marowak won the lead, but it costed him that second shield here.
Right. Yeah, it's nice to hang on to that shield. So it's Poliwrath's running Dynamic Punch, Hydro Pump.
This is a Poliwrath mirror match, but knowing that there's no shields at all, he's gonna go straight Hydro Pump, do a whole lot of damage to that
Let's see
Poliwrath.
how much.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
do you do
decent.
the Dynamic Punch though? I think maybe the Dynamic Punch might have been a better play. It's not
What?
resisted by the Poliwrath. So you can see
Oh
how much
yeah,
damage
yeah,
a Dynamic Punch does. So if he would
absolutely.
have done a Dynamic Punch, you save a little bit of energy and let's take a
I
look.
definitely the dynamic punch would have been the better move here. You'd be using less energy,
Yeah,
and also doing equivalent damage as well.
right.
Swapping and going with the Steelix. Again, against a Poliwrath, if he lands that dynamic punch, he doesn't land the dynamic punch. Oh,
Wow.
oh man.
Now we got a Steelix mirror match now.
Yeah. But again, that Steelix has a lot of energy, but Despicable does have a shield. He's trying to bait here. He has to try to bait, go for the crunch, and hope for the shield. Does he? But wow, Despicable sees it and he's like, you know what? I know that's the only way that you could actually win this match. I'm not doing it.
That's why this cup is one of my favorite cups. Like it's the bait. I don't know if call it official bait cup, but like you're gonna win or lose matches by choosing to throw some bait or use that shield. Again, example Marowak, right? Bone Club or Shadow Ball.
Yeah.
You definitely want to go. Okay, so
Despicable does take the win. That is a 2-0 and winning with also keeping the shield.
wow, that's a dominant win.
Full dominant win. He's not here to play. He is
Right.
here to win. Despicable is also another fairly new player, but making a huge name in the Toronto PvP scene.
Yeah, game one, taking it down. And again, we appreciate everyone understanding that we are actually having to watch the live stream on Twitch. So we're behind when we see that. So if the audio or our commentary is a little off, it's because we're watching it on Twitch. We're just waiting for all that to be adjusted. So we're very appreciative of the 80 plus people to come check out this Toronto tournament. And here we go for a game three.
Now let's see. Will Despicable decide to actually bring in that Haunter? That Haunter did him a lot of work, and I want to see is 100K cat collector gonna be ready for that Haunter this time? Right? Yeah, he took him down with the Lola
Yeah.
Marowak, but he was forced to use his second shield there.
Is it 1-1? We've got a 1-1 on. Yeah, that's off on the stream, guys. or is it?
I thought Despicable took it 2-0.
Chat, can you clarify for us? We're pretty sure Despicable took the two games, but this is not a game three for the match, is it?
I really don't think so.
Okay, we'll keep watching this exciting game three.
Going for the dynamic punch, deciding not to shield, knowing that dynamic punch wasn't going to do a whole lot of damage to that Haunter, but he is still going to be able to pull off that shadow punch and do some decent damage, force the shield.
Yeah, should he have just done the extra hydro, or excuse me, the extra charge move to do the hydro pump to KO the Haunter? But we'll see how the rest of the match plays out.
We'll see. Now I think he learned from that. He's gonna like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? Dynamic punch. I'm gonna stick with
Right.
dynamic punch here.
And he's choosing to save the shield. You can just see how much damage the dynamic punch does. And it
Again,
looks like both of them are running the same, right? The hydro pump, dynamic
hydro
punch.
punch, dynamic punch. Right, really good move set. Both really heavy hitting moves. Again, me personally, I'm running the complete, utter opposite
Oh
move
yeah,
set.
yeah.
All right, I'm going power up punch, ice punch.
Okay. Yeah, I like having that ice punch because like Drift Bloom is running through a lot of the teams, right? So it's good to have the coverage against the that ghost.
Exactly. If you're caught up in a matchup against a Lugia,
Yeah,
right, ice punch could save you in that matchup.
right.
But again, we do have the Metachamp. Metachamp's going to do some decent damage. He's powering up. He knows he's able to take down that Poliwrath, but also power up, and he's left with the Empoleon.
Yeah, and this is going to hurt. You can see the counters doing a lot of damage. He's going to build up the attack by doing another power up punch, and he's deciding to shield it.
He has to, but it doesn't
Yeah,
matter because counter is just going to be able to just take him down.
yeah, you can see that.
Easy as that.
And he's able to feint him before he gets off the charge move. And
Absolutely.
so at least 100K collector gets a win. And I guess this is the good side of having the third match, right? Like sometimes you're going to lose 2-0 and you just kind of want another shot at your opponent because of a misplay. So we're just getting set up here for round two. Just be a moment. Again, thank you guys. We're just working out some of the technical difficulties. Of course, it's always exciting and hype to bring you these tournaments to watch from home, but of course, there's going to be some technical issues, or at least there is today, and we're just trying to get through them so we can bring you a better experience from home. Appreciate your patience. No, the audio's fine. Sorry, guys. We're trying to talk to the technicians to get this fixed. So we have the mics muted. So it's going to be a little bit of a delay here, and we'll get everything set up.
Let's just take a quick look at the matchup since we're just waiting anyway for them to get it all up and running. Let's see. Oh,
Here, refresh it. Then we
perfect.
can see who's battling in round two.
Oh, perfect.
Did we check on King in round one? What did he do?
King took it round one.
Nice.
Yeah, he did. I saw that. Where's Mr. Scrublord? I wonder how he did. Oh, Scrublord taking a loss in round one, actually going into round two against
Sparkle.
Sparkle Tangerine.
Nice.
Right? If you guys don't know who Sparkle Tangerine is, she is actually King's main partner when doing short man raids.
Yep.
Right?
Taking some of the Pokemon skill knowledge she has and trying to bring it into the PvP world. But in Scrublord's defense, he had a tough first round opponent against K Machan. Is that how you say?
Yeah, Kamichin. Actually, Kamichin was the winner of the Fantasy Cup, if I
Oh,
remember
right.
correctly. Correctly.
Also streamed on Go Live, right? Another creative tournament that they created for Montreal.
That's the thing about these battlers, right? It doesn't matter if there's a cup or not. They've learned a way of how to get things done. They've learned the way that these cups are formed, and they're gonna go with it whether the season's on or off.
Right.
Let's take a look. Who else? Manaholics as well. Now, who's King going up against in round two?
Oh yeah, I just checked, and I was not sure how to say the name. Wolf.
Wolfro got you.
He's going against a wolf in round two, so I hope.
Not the Dark Matter Wolf.
No, not
Not
the Dark Matter Wolf. Shout out to him. Bench the grass.
man.
So even though we're not competing, like, have you set up a team of six? I've got a team of six. I'm not sure how well it will do right now, and I'm still just testing out the Primeape after watching a video. But I've got Poliwrath, Primeape, Cresselia, Driftblim, Marowak, and steal it.
Interesting. So you decided to go with Driftblim on this one.
Oh yeah, I like Driftblim, and it's very similar to Marowak in the sense of that ghost damage. But I like having the Bone Club if needed, because if you throw a little bit of shield bait, and it's still super effective. Like if they don't shield, it's still does a fair amount of damage, right? And then of course you could get the boost from Omnimus Wind. So I just really like the pairing. I don't know if it's necessary to have them both, but for now that's my squad.
Ominous Wind definitely is one of the main reasons to have Driftblim. Again, he's tanky, and it has Shadow Ball, which is like you also have that one hit.
Yeah.
But Ominous Wind, if you end up with the boost, if you
Yes.
get that boost, it's like it's GG right there. Like,
Right.
like especially if you get it on your first Ominous Wind,
Yeah.
right? Then you're already left with all this HP, and now you're just shielding, like
Yeah.
double shielding that Driftblim and just going to town on
That's
that.
why I prefer Ice Punch on my Poliwrath to at least have that super effective threat against Driftblim.
Absolutely, and that my main reason why I'm not running Driftblim is because of that flying,
Yeah.
right? That the ice punches, they're gonna hurt,
Yep.
right? My main thing is I like Dusclops.
Yes. So I almost didn't know how to deal with it at first because it kind of throws you off. Its quick move does a lot of damage, but also Poliwrath with Ice Punch does pretty well against. It's only neutral damage, but it's kind of an even matchup depending on who wants to throw a shield out to maintain switch advantage.
Absolutely, and that's the thing that I love about Driftblim. Sorry, not Driftblim. Dusclops. Dusclops I find is the best safe switch. Right?
Okay.
You lead in with Medicham, you lead in with Poliwrath, you lead in with whatever, and you don't have a good matchup. You swap out, bring in Dusclops, and he can literally go well against anything.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And you win that lead. Once the second you win that lead, you let the Dusclops go
Yeah.
down. You have switch advantage, and it's GG from there because you already have energy on your Poliwrath or your Medicham or whatever it is, and you're in a situation where it's gonna equal out to your win. Do you know
Nice
what I mean?
little coaching from Jay Farmakis. It's nice when you know. I didn't think of it like that, right? I've been trying to get a good Dusclops, but when you lose the lead, which is going to happen in a tournament, you want to have a good safe switch. So maybe that's something that I'll consider for making my team of six.
Absolutely. I knew Dusclops was going to be good, but until me and Cody, Cody,
Yeah.
KLTD 32, I think.
Right.
Sorry, Cody, if I said that wrong. But until we had that conversation where we were
Yeah.
like, hey, what about this? What about that? Who do you think is best for this? And we're just having these conversations, and we kind of formed it together in a sense.
Yeah.
Then that's when I really realized that like Dusclops is just it's great against everything. Like,
Yeah. It's nice to have those conversations. I just watched the latest video on the Go Stadium YouTube channel, and it was Blandon just talking about your training partners. So you want to have good people that you can bounce ideas off of, but also have someone who's also, different thinking and can throw out these different suggestions to improve your team because you'll create a team of six, think it's really good, but you've got to, give it a stress test or, go against some of the tougher, teams that could counter it to see if it's really the right team of six for you in your tournament.
exactly. Now we all know Alola Marowak, right? Top tier, but not
Yeah.
everybody's running it. It's not for everyone,
Right.
right? Not every meta relevant Pokemon is meant for everyone. It's all depending on your play style. Do you like
Right.
baiting shields? Do you like breaking shields? Do you like just doing heavy, hard moves closer to the end? You know what I mean? Like it all depends on your own play style of which Pokemon will be the most optimal for your team.
Yeah. It's very true.
Now, what other news do we have for our viewers? What other big things are happening in the PvP scene?
Well, hopefully we'll get the matchmaking in game to see how that and what that looks like. Of course, Sylph has now enabled Ultra League and Master League tournaments, so we'll see how many of those are popping up. That's something that I'd like to participate in. I know I've used a lot of dust from the Triple Dust event to power
Yeah,
up those Ultra League and Master League mons. And it is great that Sylph kept their main tournament style for Great League because, again, Ultra and Master League can get very expensive for battlers.
absolutely. Master League is all about 100% IV, powering it up all the way to level 40, right? Every Pokemon needs to be powered up to
Yeah.
level 40, right? Because due to the fact that there is no cap, you have to be level 40
Yeah.
to be able to compete, and that's going to be a very expensive cup. Giratina, huge, right? Alga, huge.
Yeah.
Who else would you say is top tier for?
For Master League,
Yeah, for Master.
um, well, I like my Garantinas. Yeah. Yeah, Garantina. I think you mentioned Dialga. I like Raikou. When again, Niantic is adding these different moves, given Raikou Shadow Ball, and recently the legendary birds. It's at least given Zapdos and Articuno some other options as far as charge moves go. And hopefully, we said Niantic is listening. Hopefully, they in December for Community Day allow us to get Last Resort Umbreon, other Pokemon like that, because a lot of people still need the Frenzy Plant Venusaur. Uh, you know, uh,
Blast
I
Burn
think it's
Charizard.
very Last Burn Charizard. Thank you. It's very important that Niantic allows us to do that, especially because I've got a shiny Eevee saved up for my Umbreon.
I remember when we were all trading shinies and like super rare Pokemon to try to get some of these legacy moves like Ice Beam, Lapras, right?
Yes.
Ice Shard, Ice Beam, Lapras, and then we all get these Pokemon ready. We have them ready to go, and then Niantic just like here, 3 hour raid day,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was available for everyone. So
Right. Which I still appreciate. Like, Gengar, the Lick Gengar raid day wasn't too impactful on PvP, but like, hopefully we can get like a Dragonite day where we can get Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw. You talked about Master League, right?
that would make my day. Like
I've got a Dratini saved, or even just like Dragon's Breath on Gyarados.
Dragon
So
Breath on Gyarados would be really good. So are we getting this up and running?
good. Can you full screen it?
Let's see.
It's better, and
Can-
then at least we can see. Then ask him to mute his mic again. Opening up like a new window, a new live stream chat. Again, appreciate everyone's patience while we get round two on stream ready to go. Okay, so who do we have here?
We have Manaholics versus Clarissa, and Manaholics again, another player from I think he's from Richmond Hill. I think
Okay,
I'm pretty
maybe.
sure he's from Richmond Hill. Again, still in the GTA, and he is a super smart battler. Like he analyzes the team. Who's his safe switch against this specific team? Who's the best possible lead in this case scenario?
And have they already battled? It says two. Can we get the balls reset
Yeah, that's from last
on the
round.
wins and losses, please? So we can see them kind of eyeing up the team. And we do see a Lugia, something that I've been trying to trade for to try to, you know, get get for the matchups. And as you can see, John is we've got a very sharp looking Sinister Cup trophy up for grabs. So that's going to be a great prize for the winner of this tournament. And I don't want to see a split. I don't want to see 6-1. I want someone to run the table 7-0. But we know with a tournament this big, it's not always going to happen. There's always upsets, and you see a
And
lot of these tournaments in ties.
absolutely, with this kind of competition, it's going to be extremely hard to sweep. Right? This
Yeah,
again, this is all bragging rights as well.
yeah,
Right? These guys all know each other. They play with each other every month. They play with each other at home remotely. And now this is gonna be some serious bragging rights.
yeah. And that's specific to some of the tournaments you've been to. When you say that, everyone, you see the Jeff Cho's and King IVs and Dragon Silks battling in the same tournament, which is some tough competition for a 4 round and a 5 round tournament. So at least we've got a giant tournament for them to display their skills today.
Absolutely. So let's take a look. It looks like Manaholics is gonna try to lead with with a Alolan Marowak.
That's something, I was just going to say, I run that squad a lot, actually. And that's a lot, typical. You see, a Ghost, a Fighter, and then Steelix or Bastiodon. And
Absolutely.
It seemed like a lot of people were really he is locked in. A lot of people were really leaning towards Steelix, which is Steelix is still good, but almost Bastiodon almost got forgotten about. And Bastiodon again just has some great matchups against the Ghost. So here we go. Dusclops against uh, Polyrath, and that's what we were discussing earlier, right? This matchup, and
Are
it
we
looks like he's
experiencing lag
lagging.
here?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that, that definitely needs a rematch.
Which I wanted to see the move set on Polyrath,
Polyrath,
because if he doesn't have Ice Punch, then it puts the Polyrath at a disadvantage, right?
huge, and there it is.
Yeah, good call. We're gonna restart, and then maybe we can take a look at that Polyrath move set. So Clarissa and then Manaholics. I was
Yep,
gonna just cheap out and say Mana for sure, but we'll go Manaholics versus Clarissa. We're gonna lock in with the same teams as the Sylph rules state. And
absolutely.
I've had that in a tournament before against this is the Steve where I saw his team in Jungle Cup Venusaur and I just wanted to switch my team so bad when we had leg and I knew the whole time I didn't have a Venusaur counter, but you got to play by the rules. Sylph has set up a great set of rules to keep these tournaments clean and competitive.
Absolutely. Now they're going to have to go the same lead, knowing that Manaholics is not in the greatest matchup.
But
He's going to switch out instantaneously, try to not even get at least a second fast move on him right away, bring in that Alolan Marowak. And again, Dusclops, right?
yeah,
Dusclops does a lot of work here.
yeah, super effective damage from the Ghost.
Yep.
And then the Bone Clubs won't do that much to it, right? So that's where the debate between Marowak and Driftbloom comes into play, right? They're similar, but that quicker to get to charge move is not very effective against some of the meta, right? So
Exactly. Now, Manaholics is actually deciding not to shield here, knowing he's going to have a little bit of health remaining to be able to still pull off that Shadow Ball, forcing that shield on
yeah,
the Dusclops.
yeah, because the Shadow Ball just would have exploded that Dusclops. So it's good call with the shield, and down goes Marowak.
Absolutely. Now
And
that Dusclops has farmed a little bit,
yeah,
and with that little bit of energy, he knows is if it's going to be that Poliwrath, I'm going to go Shadow Punch. If it's that Steelix, I'm going to go Fire Punch. And he definitely has some sort of answer, no matter what he brings in.
yeah. All right, so Fire Punch is going to do a decent amount of damage.
And Manaholics is still deciding not to shield here. He's keeping both of his shields.
And again, I haven't seen the move sets on his Polyrath. Is that maybe because he's got the power up punch and wants to build up that energy? But
Possibly.
or the attack power. We'll find out. And does he decide to shield here? Really playing it risky. Maybe he's lagging again.
Again, these things are a little bit risky to do, especially because you do have some Pokemon that have extremely strong, fast moves. You
Oh,
don't want to lose with shields in the back.
it feels terrible, and it's happened to me in tournament play where I've had the right lead and then countered the second Pokemon very well, and then just that quick move, charm. Oh man, I know not for this tournament, but
Absolutely. And now he's going to be going against Poliwrath Mirror Match, deciding still not to shield.
are they lagging here?
Yeah, they're lagging a little bit. They're trying to see exactly what's going on. And he's going to end up going for the Power Up Punch. Can't see it.
I'm pretty sure that's what he went for. Now, I don't know if that's a recording coming back that's lagging or if they're actually lagging here.
This is the one. Rewatch.
Right.
Uh, again, he still has those shields. He's going to do work here. Again, if you can see here, that Poliwrath is still not attacking. Yeah,
Yeah.
there it
Okay.
is. There's some lag happening, guys. There's some lag happening. They're going to have to redo this again. And the thing about this is that the Toronto community, not just Toronto community, but the PvP community loves PvP so much to the point where we're battling here, we're shoutcasting here,
Yeah.
we're live streaming, but we're also watching the Go Stadium's live stream in
Yes.
New York on the TVs in the actual facility.
and you and I, we got a lot of respect for Ghost Stadium and what they've been able to do to elevate PvP. We do hype up King a lot for what he's done for us, but definitely the Ghost Stadium with the remote tournaments, their shoutcasting, their Friday night fights, and also their coaching services, right? So, yeah, I'm very interested as a fan of PvP to know what's going down in that New York tournament, which right now we have no idea. When we went live, there was about 3 rounds deep into the New York tournament, and it's going to be very exciting to see who comes out on top in New York. And of course, the hype of Toronto is really real, especially for us being a home game, right? So,
Absolutely. Thing is, like again, Go Stadium has made people who are in these rural areas able to play PvP. Right? They let you do tournaments. Right? They don't have to drive 2, 3, 4 hours to be able
yeah,
to do a tournament anymore. Now they have their options. Right? It allowed them to get gain friends.
yeah,
Right? Get more people on their friends list. Do practice battles, and this could not have happened if it
yeah.
wasn't for Go Stadium.
Yeah, thank you, Ghost Stadium. And you've seen in the comments before, I see a lot of people say, man, I wish I had enough people to do a tournament in my city. And like even in my city, we're a very small community, and we're lucky to get 4 rounds or get a ranked tournament, which we're able to do. But you're right; those remote tournaments are huge for players that just cannot have to get enough people. So here we go.
All right, let's get this
So
started again.
this is still game one.
Still
We
game
still
one.
got the matchup, and the interesting thing is, I believe they're mud shot polyraths,
Yeah,
which I run bubble a lot. It was nice to see, a Pokemon that has legacy moves that is so highly desired, but bubble being relevant, so you can go with either or. So the balance again, it's such a great type of a cup. So we got Marowak going for the Shadow Ball, and is he gonna think kaboom? He got a shield.
oh,
That's so tough.
kaboom!
Dude, and that's where the hype from this tournament happens, because you could think your opponent is shield baiting, and then you get rocked with a Shadow Ball like that, and you're so behind.
And now he just swayed the match into his favor,
Yeah,
completely annihilating
yeah.
that Dusclops.
Shadow Ball being one of the biggest, deadliest moves in the game. Shout out to Scrub Lord for giving us another Red Bull to quench
Thank
our
you,
thirst.
Scrub Lord.
Always appreciative.
Thank you, sir.
You can hear the hype from the other room because we're seeing so many other, that the New York tournament is on the TVs here.
Again, that Shadow Ball like really put him in the lead in this
Yeah,
matchup. So let's see if Clarissa's gonna be able to come back from that.
let's find out. And this is why I like Dynamic Punch, because you could see how much damage it did to that Steelix.
Absolutely.
And this is another debate, right? It's like when you've got Steelix against Poliwrath, great shield, right? Blocking that Earthquake. But if he goes for Crunch, you're able to get another Crunch off and make the opponent burn the shield. So there's so many mind games you can play with your opponent.
Exactly. Go for the powerhouse move. Go for the bait. Even
Right.
if the bait doesn't do a whole lot of damage, as much, it will still do some
Yeah.
damage. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull off 2 of those moves, possibly get the shield, and then hit him with the heavy move right after.
I'm feeling the hype now. We're
Oh
in
yeah,
round two. We've got everything set up for the viewers. We're gonna approach 100 viewers here, and we're gonna just see how this tournament unfolds going forward.
exactly. Now that everything's up and running, that shadow ball
Yes.
hyped us up way too
Yeah.
much. You know what I mean?
Okay. And there goes our screen.
I think we jinxed it,
we,
man.
we spoke too soon. There we go. All right, back to the battle.
Again, psychic, right? Oh, wait, was that? No, that was synchronize, I think.
Yeah, another cool move brought in by Niantic for the Community Day, and we know in December we'll at least have this year's Pokemon on there. But again, please, Niantic, let us have Umbreon, let us have Frenzy Plant Venusaur.
Absolutely. Umbreon is going to be a tank. It still is a tank right now.
Yeah.
And now with the buff to Snarl,
Yes. Is this Dynamic Punch going to KO? I think it's enough if he hits all the bubbles.
I think it is enough.
Oh,
Oh,
it's okay.
that's
They
it.
needed an extra quick move. Okay, so Clarissa, after a couple restarts, takes game one. Good.
Clarissa took the shadow ball.
Yeah, overcame.
Yeah, overcame the
Nice.
shadow ball. Took actually stepped back, came in with the rest of her two
Yeah.
Pokemon, and finished it off.
Remain calm if you get rocked by a shadow ball or a big move because you may think you're ahead or your opponent may think they've got a great lead. And again, there's still so much of the battle to be played out. So great win by Clarissa.
Absolutely. Now let's see. What is Manaholics gonna do here to sway it up?
Okay, let's take a
Right.
look here.
Now Manaholics is like, okay, this is what Clarissa's running. This is how I'm gonna be able to fix it,
Yeah,
bring it back. See how am I gonna square it up with 1-1, make it
yeah.
1-1.
A lot of people are really good at reading teams of six, but I have to see it on this screen right here, the Sylph way. It's the only way that my brain can work to be like,
Yeah,
okay. So,
this,
yep,
that.
I agree. So we saw locked in, I believe, Steelix first, Poliwrath Haunter. It was very quick, but I think at least those are the three in whatever order. So we'll see what Clarissa does here. And the other thing we didn't really talk about that has is a game changer. CMP is random now. A lot
Yes,
of us have complained about CMP. It's completely random that we know of, right after seeing some tests by King in the community, Go Stadium. It appears that CMP is random,
absolutely. Now there's no more rock paper scissors to see who's gonna get CMP. Now it's just straight random.
which is good because my rock, paper, scissors game, I go 0 for 4. Like I can't even get a win in a tournament. So here we go. Steelix versus the Poliwrath.
All right. Again, Clarissa's gonna have full lead here. Bringing in that Poliwrath, that means he doesn't have an answer to
Right.
Poliwrath. So he's gonna swap out, bring in Gardevoir, and Gardevoir is just gonna eat Poliwrath.
Whether it's charm or he's got the hydro pump though.
Yeah,
Okay, good shield. But yeah, charm or confusion can really bring down a Poliwrath, but great shield there.
absolutely. Is that a? Is I don't think that's Charm.
Is it maybe I've seen the possibility of using a charge beam?
I think it's Charge Beam.
Well, now that you mentioned it, you can
Yes,
see
it
the
is Charge
charge
Beam.
move. Great recognizing that because the charge move is brought up a lot quicker, right? So not as terrible for the Poliwrath from the quick move perspective.
Right, and again, Charge Beam. It's not a heavy hitting move, but
Right.
it gets to that synchronoise. It gets to that shadow
Yeah,
ball.
but both shields gone. But yeah, very interesting. And that's what we talked about earlier. Having multiple move sets, whether it's for charge moves or quick moves, can really change up how the matches are done.
Exactly. Now I think he's gonna have to get to that shadow ball before he gets to the crunch. Will he get? She get to it? Yes, he got to it.
Okay. And you can see that it'll do a pretty decent amount of damage. Shadow Ball just being very explosive. Brings it about
Absolutely.
halfway, right?
Decided to farm with the Steelix, just doing as much damage as he can with the Steelix, counting, actually getting to the Synchronoise, hoping to bait the second shield. Deciding,
Yeah, I wondered if it was almost too much farming, but this won't KO. So great read, right? Keep farming with Onyx and Steelix, and you're going to have to throw a crunch out eventually. And here it is.
yeah, he's almost at the point where he was almost over farming.
Yeah, right. You can J farm, but don't over J farm, right?
Not over J farm.
Right. So, right, out of shields, this will take out the Gardevoir.
Absolutely.
And let's just see what's
So
left
again,
over after
he
this.
has the Poliwrath in the back,
Right.
but
With a
also having that.
full dynamic punch.
Yep.
Brings in the Haunter.
Going for the ice punch.
Yeah.
Great move. That Haunter has one last shield, but I think that Poliwrath has almost enough energy to be able to pull off a second ice punch.
Let's find out. Well, we were going to find out, but brings in a good counter. But
Oof.
this is going to hurt. This is going to really hurt.
This is the Shadow Ball.
You click Shadow Ball. Okay,
That's
that's
the
what it's
Shadow Ball.
kaboom.
Boom.
Oh, man. Down goes. But
It's
then you
okay.
got the ice
Ice.
punch. Oh,
Oh,
I wonder if that was a misclick. I mean, we know it's a misclick, but I don't think he meant
yeah.
to do that on purpose.
I think. Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know if the ice punch would have
Oh
KO'd, but
man.
I think the ice punch is the
Oh.
right play there.
No, I think the ice punch would
Yeah,
have
yeah.
KO'd. I'm pretty
And,
sure the ice punch would have KO'd.
and is the Haunter the last Mon though?
Yeah. Is it enough though?
No, it's not the last Mon. We're having
Oh
trouble
no.
seeing this.
Again, going for the ice punch. All right, and we have Manaholics actually taking the win here, so this is a 1-1.
Yes,
That
and that's what I like. I love Game 3 hype, and now we get to kind of see how they adapt and see what they do.
game threes are always the best, but it's the best viewing it.
Yes.
Being in the shoes of game three
Ooh.
is like, okay,
Yeah.
I either win this round and take it all, or I
Yeah.
lose this round and I lose the whole.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Can't be thinking like that. You got to just whether you get destroyed in one of those games, you reset, you remember what happened, and just read the team.
absolutely
And
that Gardevoir did a lot of work.
yeah,
Clarissa's Gardevoir,
yeah. Well, of course, with the different quick move, right? I've never battled one with charge beam,
exactly, right?
so
And again, this is what you want to be prepared for. You want to be prepared for all these different types of matchups.
yeah, and yeah. You don't want to have your first time seeing a specific move set in the tournament and try to adapt on the fly. Like maybe you'll do well, but it's always great to get that practice ahead of time. But like, who are you going to practice using a charge beam Gardevoir? I
That's
don't
the
know.
thing, right? You think Gardevoir, you're automatically thinking Charm.
Yeah. And yeah, it may take a couple or a bit to even realize, even us showcasing, we didn't see it right away. So it looks like they're gonna have to send the invite again.
Yeah. Speaking about invites, we have a problem right now in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Right? They're not allowing us to do remote battles.
I thought Valor Ash was ducking me, but it was the game itself, right? So it's always good to get some practice in. But yeah, and not, we are big on Twitter. The
Yeah.
Pokemon Go community is big on Twitter. So Niantic did respond and let them know they're aware of it and they're working on it. So it's great that we can communicate, or they let us know, on the platform of here we go, game 3,
Let's do it.
same matchup, or
Same.
a similar matchup of game 1 that was restarted a lot, right?
Yep. But again, Clarissa getting the lead. Going with the Dusclops, Shadow Punch is going to do a lot of damage.
And in game 1, Mana would sub out when it wasn't really that bad of a matchup. So you can see that he's keeping the Poliwrath in there to absorb the damage, because the Shadow Punches don't do that much damage. You can take quite a few Shadow
Exactly.
Punches.
It's not the best ghost move, but again, it does charge up very
Yeah,
quick. And because Dusclops is super tanky, you're
right.
able to pull off quite a few of those.
It decides to still sub out the Poliwrath and bring in the Haunter and build up some of that energy
Yep.
and get a shield out of Clarissa.
Now, this is one of those times where you're like, okay, do I shield here? Use the charge move, swap out, and bring in, let's say, Steelix.
Maybe. But the quick move is also bringing down the Haunter, right? So
Right.
it might
But
be okay to just
Shadow
stay.
Claw is going to do a lot,
That's true. Yeah.
right? Like, the Dusclops won't even be able to get to another charge move here.
Okay. So let's the Dusclops go.
Again, keeping
And
that Haunter alive, will he be able to get to. Okay,
out
going
of
for the
shield.
Ice Punch.
Overfarm though. I'm pretty sure the Haunter had enough for a charge move there. So I feel that Mana's going to regret that a little bit.
I think Manaholics was trying to be a little bit greedy there just
Yeah.
because he was trying to go for Shadow Ball rather than going for the
Right.
Shadow Punch. In that scenario, you're not going to get to it. Pull up the Shadow
Right.
Punch, do as much damage as you
Yeah.
can.
Good call. And it's so hard. It's such a fast-paced battle, but when it happens to you and you guess it wrong, you just want to kick yourself.
Exactly. Now, pulling off the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball, the thing is, here's a situation where you're like, I need to pull off charge moves to let more time
Yeah.
pass. Allow me to be able to get to switch again.
Right. It's not a terrible matchup on either side, right?
Yeah, but Crunch is going to do a lot of damage. Earthquake's going to do a whole lot of damage. Remember, Gardevoir is not the tankiest mod. It's a
Right.
little
Well,
squishy.
especially now that it's out of shields, right? And it didn't look like they clicked any bubbles. So is
What
this
happened
a
there?
farming? Maybe they're trying to farm. Remember, we got tricked by House Stark in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Maybe something similar. We'll
yeah,
find out.
I think so. Shadow Ball is going to do a lot.
That's so risky, though, I feel.
I don't know why. That's a hard risk.
We'll see if it pays off. We're
And
going for the earthquake again.
why go Earthquake instead of Crunch? Because
So,
Crunch would have been able to KO and
yeah,
use less energy.
we'll find out. And especially when you've got the Poliwrath to take care of the Steelix with no shields.
Yeah.
But it looks like it may just work out. We're going to have a dynamic punch doing a lot of damage.
This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough.
It's going to be very close.
No, I
Game.
think the Polyrath is going to survive, and he's gonna be able
Yeah.
to. Oh, is it? Oh no, it's Steelix in the back. Oh
Wow.
wow!
And that's so close. Like I still don't think that was the right call. Didn't that put Mana behind? And even though Mana came out on top, but like doing that earthquake and
That
all
was
that extra
very
energy.
risky.
Well, hey,
Extremely.
GG's. What do you guys think in the chat? We got about 100 of you. Uh, what were we just watching?
Yeah.
Was that an odd play or what? I don't know. Very confusing.
The thing is, okay, I would understand in a situation where he's like, you know what? I know he has Polyrath in the back. I want my Steelix to go down in HP, so that way he can't farm on the
Right.
Steelix, allowing him to get a lot of energy for when my Polyrath comes back in. He has a charge move ready.
Okay.
I understand that
All
situation,
right.
right? But I don't know. I don't think it was meant to be played like that here. I think he still was able to switch anyway, pull off crunch,
Right.
have energy, pull off another crunch or an earthquake on the Polyrath.
Right.
Right? You had all that energy. Use a crunch, finish off the Gardevoir, use the earthquake on the
Yeah.
Polyrath. You go down after that. That's fine. You have your own Polyrath in the back.
Yeah, it's a very great analysis actually on that breakdown. So Mana takes it 2-1. And we're just going to get the next set of battlers up. What we'll do is kind of take a look at the field and see how it's shaping up. And we've still got 5 more rounds after this.
Now let's take a look. See what's going on with the tournament now.
Even though I want to kind of creep into the New York tournament and see what's going on, our focus is Toronto right now. We'll be able to watch the replay on the Go Stadium Twitch. So let's stay focused on Toronto. I always, I don't want to seem like I'm favoring the guy, but I want to see how King does. So we've got King versus 100K Collector. He's currently 2-0. So it's good to see King.
King is doing work, right?
Yeah.
Very well expected, knowing that King does know these matchups. He knows it like the back of his head. And he's like, you know what? This is the time where, you know what, J Farm and Jim are going to
Yeah.
shoutcast, right? I don't need to be at the shoutcast table. I'm going to come in and I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
Season 1, first cup of season, sorry,
Yeah.
of season 2.
Yeah. And again, I can't think I think about him when we have a tournament like this because he's so skilled and he deserves some tournaments that are just bigger for world rank purposes. And so we're just seeing a lot of things that are expected. I see Jamie 2-0, Scotty 2-0. Let's take a look at the actual points field so we
Oh,
can see.
Sublord Dustin taking a win in round 2.
We knew you could do it, buddy. Keep going. So Jamie, Jeff Cho, Holden McGroin, New Archaic. So a lot of what we expect to see for some 2-0 starts. Guam. Shout out to Eliminator from London. Again, a lot of people in Ontario made a couple-hour trip, so that's great for her. Girls at PvP is a huge movement, and we support the ladies 100%. And they're doing work in season 1 already. Right, we had For the Battles splitting the tie and sharing the win in Cali yesterday.
Absolutely, For the Battles actually sharing that tie.
Yeah.
Right? And we got girls at PvP. It's growing. It's growing a lot. We're getting a lot of the females out
Yeah.
there more to be able to get more of them in to participate in these tournaments.
Yeah.
Right?
And we saw it in Pittsburgh. We saw a lot of ladies in Pittsburgh before the Girls at PvP movement, and it's going stronger now. So and someone like For the Battles who took an early loss, she lost round 1 and then went 5 wins. So she kept her composure, and that was great for her. And yeah, let's hope we can get round 3 plugged in and ready to go.
See, I think they're just getting it all set up, ready to go right now.
I might want to just battle John here while we're sitting here waiting, test out our teams.
Again, we do have players like Guan, Holding McGroin. Like these guys are all top end players.
Yeah.
All these players right now that are 2-0 are players that
Yeah.
actually came in that 7-way tie in
Yeah.
Safari.
And we're going to do our best to continue to showcase the skills next month. Go live, right? So, guys, make sure that you're subscribed and you're following Go Live, and we'll continue to bring you these tournaments month after month in Toronto area.
Absolutely. Hit that follow button because we're going to be here every single month.
We are sacrificing our world rank,
Yeah.
Just to bring it to you guys. No, you know what? We joke about that, but like looking at the field, like we very well could go 3-4, 5-2. It's such a toss up, and the competition is stiff here in Toronto right now.
Absolutely. Again, yes, we are sacrificing
Yeah,
being able to actually participate in these big tournaments to go up on these world rankings, right? But in the end of the day, that's not our main concern here. It's not what we are here to do. We are
right.
not here to be number one in the world. We're
No,
here to make this an esport and grow it to the
yeah.
biggest it can be.
Yeah. Go live, John and Jim. We really know that, a lot of you, the viewers, are excited to watch a lot of YouTube videos, but seeing those tournament videos get a lot of views, right? But seeing it live and seeing some of the battles and the mistakes from multiple perspectives, it really helps people for next weekend or for, near the end of the month where a lot of tournaments are going to be held.
Exactly. As you were saying just now, people watch videos on YouTube. They watch your videos. They watch my videos. They watch
Yeah.
kids' videos. Jake, Jay
Yeah.
Devin, Zionic, right? Everybody's videos. You're gonna learn a lot from these videos, yes, but again, you're not gonna learn as much as what you'll learn from watching these type of
Right.
battles.
And we know a lot of the battlers here are recording, right? We'll probably see for the battles post tournament, King Ivy's tournament, and of course some of the New York battlers are also recording. So it's going to be really interesting to see their perspectives and how they all did.
Yep, and we also have some of the up and coming YouTubers,
Yeah,
right? We have Dragon Silk also
yeah,
coming in, and just he's going to be recording these battles for sure. So
yes,
make sure you guys actually watch out for him because he is a
yeah.
top end battler with a lot of experience under his belt.
Yeah, that's someone who I battled a lot in Tempest Cup, and it allowed me to win my Tempest Cup. I traveled to London, and I haven't had the chance to battle him as of late. So I do know that he's prepared. I did get a best of three in with him for the Sinister Cup. I have battled quite a few people from this specific tournament, and I know a lot of people are prepared. It's only the 6th of the month. And a lot of good skilled teams are already forming, and yeah, it's hyped to see how the rest of the month's going to go.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see. I know it's still too early, and I still have to do my ranked Sinister Cup, but I'm very excited. Sylph has pre-planned a lot of these tournaments. I'm pretty confident they already know what's going to be, the November Cup, and it's hope it, if it's half as exciting as Sinister, it's going to be a win because again, I love the Sinister Cup.
Absolutely. The Sinister Cup was a great win, especially with the new moveset drop,
Yep.
right? It really changed everything up. The Sinister Cup is so diverse, right? You're not coming into a matchup saying that my six are gonna be the exact same as your
Yeah.
six. And if they are, I guarantee you the move sets are not the same.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen already a couple move sets switched up, and we see the PV Poke rankings, and sometimes we talked about Marowak, and Marowak is number one on PV Poke's ranking, but that's against the entire field. If you narrowed it down, maybe against like the meta or the top 20, it might not be standing there on the number one, right? So PV Poke, we all use PV Poke, of course. We've got the battle simulations, and he was asking us on Twitter like, what would you prefer, the regular rankings, or if you include shield baiting, right? Because that put like a Dusclops higher up, a Driftblim kind of, they all kind of adjust, right? So big supporter of PV Poke. If you are watching and you're not sure to, where and what websites to get a lot of your information from, PV Poke is one of the best. Actually,
If
in my
not the
opinion, it's
best,
the best. Yeah,
I find it's the best,
absolutely. I
right?
agree.
And the thing is, he does it. It's Mr. Kakuna Matata,
Yeah,
right?
means no worries.
Right? It means no worries, right? And
Yeah,
that's the thing about him is that he does it, and he doesn't have any ads on his website.
that's a
He
good point.
right? He does it for the PvP community.
Yeah,
He does it for absolutely
yeah,
free, right?
yeah,
So again, guys, if you guys do use PvP Poke, which I guarantee you, anybody who does PvP uses PvP Poke, sign up on his Patreon because
yeah,
honestly, like he's doing everyone a huge favor. Us content creators, also the battlers, right? If it wasn't for him, you would not be able to see those simulators. And
yeah.
I'm not sure if you have it, but we're gonna have our teams. We have our teams up there, right? on
Yeah, I think. Well, I was very hesitant because I was like Steelix and Bastion on the same team of six, and then I was like, wait, that's terrible. I'm like, wait, it could work. I kind of went back and forth, but we're seeing in the tournaments people having both of them on their teams, right, to give you that coverage. But also, what he does is he drops on Twitter the infographics of like all the simulations that people have run and like how those matchups are working. So. If you're watching this and you're not on Twitter, it's probably best, or help out to create a Twitter account and just like kind of join the Pokemon Go fun, because again, you have all the content creators, you've got PV Poke, you've got Go Stadium sharing very valuable information, and it looks like we've got. I don't know if they're testing. They got to be testing. Never mind. They can't see what we can see. They're just testing the stream right now, guys, to make sure that it's stable to get round three ready to go. And I don't know if you guys can see, but we imported this straight from Sarnia, from Trophy Pete. We've got the Sinister Cup trophy, and that's why I don't want to see a tie. I want to see someone
that
go
is
7-0. Yeah,
beautiful.
very nice to take that home.
And again, it's Pete, right?
Yeah, Trophy Pete.
Trophy Pete from Sarnia. Again, like amazing,
Yeah,
amazing job. He created some of the nicest trophies that there
yeah,
is, right? I think Go Stadium has ordered trophies from him,
yeah,
right? Anywhere in the GTA, even places from like Europe
yeah.
are getting tournament trophies from Trophy Pete.
Yeah, the ultimate showdown, right? We saw it. You were there in Philly, and
Yep,
what a great stream that was, and the trophy was sitting right in front of King and AJ the entire stream, and yeah, I shared those trophies because we would make them for my little small community, and then I'd share them on Twitter, and then I'd get all these messages, "Can I get one? Can I get one?" And I just couldn't be the middleman. I just said, "Yo, Pete, you got to be on Twitter." And again, another reason for all of you guys to be on Twitter. It does seem like outdated social media, but it is amazing for Pokemon Go.
absolutely. If you want to be on Pokemon Go social media, Twitter is by far the number
Yeah,
one place to be. You're going to be able to
yeah,
see all the content creators there posting what they're doing. You also have Go Stadium. You also have PV Poke. And PV Poke, not only, sorry, I'm just so like
yeah,
mind blown of how amazing PV Poke
yeah.
is, right? I don't mean to like, bring him up like, and say hype
We
him up
can.
too much, but like,
That's what we
he
do.
deserves it
Yeah,
because not only does he do all these simulations and sets up all these coding and whatever, he also sees what is doing the best in the simulations
yeah,
that people are using. And from there he creates a graphic
yeah,
and says, this is what the best team of three,
yeah,
sorry, this is the top wins for the team of three,
yeah,
right? And he sends that out and it's free.
yeah, for
Like
sure. And you got
mind
to
blowing with
take
PvPoke.
it for what it is, right? We talked about those graphics. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will always be the best, but it gives you an idea of the simulations that people are running, right? We all know that almost every team has a polyrath. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have a polyrath on your team to be successful. There's a lot of other great fighting options, but when most teams are going to have polyrath Steelix, you bring counters for those, right? Again, I mentioned Caleb Pang earlier.
Yep.
And I also mentioned that Go Stadium video that I watched recently. It was great to reminisce on some of those regional wins by Caleb and Valorash, just using these off meta picks or these unique picks to just counter the meta of what people are using. So, I watched that roundtable with all of you on King's stream, and you know, there's a lot of main Pokemon that are being chosen, but you have to go either off meta or be ready to counter those. Right? Don't do what everyone else is doing, and also practice and test them for yourself.
I remember during that roundtable,
Yeah,
they were like, "Okay, so who do you think is going to be top tier from off meta picks?" And I was like, "Mawile,
yeah,
for sure."
yeah.
Right? I'm like, "That bite damage is crazy," and they all laughed. They all laughed,
Yeah,
and then it's like, "How about now?"
yeah, yeah. Well, it was already powerful, and then you add power up punch, increasing the damage from that bite. And I've swept a team, right? I'm not going to mention the name, but it's funny that I made a video of me sweeping the team, and then very next game, call me Jake. Does some work. He didn't sweep me, but he did a lot of damage. So we talked about on your team of six, you can run two fighters or two ghosts bringing in for your three for battle. But you have to be very careful if you're bringing two ghosts and there's a Mawile on your opponent's team.
Exactly, but those risky moves is what will make you either make it for you or
Mhm.
break it for you,
Yep.
right? You
We,
got to
we saw the shield, right? Do I shield? Do I not? And then boom, shadow ball, and then you're
boom.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, you also see matchups where boom, you get the shadow ball,
Yeah.
boom, and then you still come back from it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's what's so great about this. This is what keeps uh, PvP to be an esport because it's so exciting. The match can flip in a second,
Yeah.
right? One fast move makes all the difference.
Yeah. We saw it on display at Worlds, right? Pokey AK and King, along with other battlers, 8 of them in a tournament, and we saw the numbers in the stream, right? It was like double what the card game was. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like no disrespect to those, but like there's a clear movement and a clear want to watch these tournaments, right?
exactly. So talking about the invitational from Worlds
Right.
hosted by the Pokemon Company, right? First of all, for them to bring Pokemon Go PvP into Worlds,
Yeah.
they must see some potential here,
Oh, for sure.
right? And then not only did they do that, but you see all these players and they're messaging in chat saying, "What is Pokemon Go doing here?"
Yes.
And you saw a lot of hate. We saw a
Yeah.
lot of hate there, but by the end of the stream,
Yeah.
you saw all those people that were giving the hate were
Yeah.
saying, "Wow, this game is actually interesting."
Yeah. That's a great point too. It's very important us as battlers to don't get so offended when they tell us it's just tap tap tap. Sure, we know it's more, but just calmly let them know that it is more because we're a very tight community, and I don't think there's any reason to be tight over stuff like that. We just welcome them all in. They're either going to like it or they're not, right? We don't have to sell them too hard on it. Just explain our world, and they'll either jump on you know the journey or they won't.
Right,
So
absolutely. And that's the thing about this PvP community is that no matter who you are a battler,
yeah,
you're a content creator, it doesn't matter. There's competition in everything,
yeah,
but it's almost like we're all one big family. There's no
yeah,
hate. There's
right,
no harsh words,
right,
right? It's just straight GG,
yes,
right?
and we can say things like what is going on, where are the battles, without them being offended, because we kind of want to see some battles. I'm not sure what is going on. John and I are going to have our voices done by round 3, but
Absolutely.
I don't know what's going on with the delay, guys. I apologize.
Well, it is what it is, but we're trying to get things up and running. I think they're having problems trying to get one of the phones connected. Um, but again, it is what it is. We're here to talk to them anyway,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
This is our opportunity to talk
For
to.
sure. We got 100 people waiting to see what's going on. But what I'll do, since we've got people watching, I'm
Yeah,
going to find out what's going down in New York, right? Instead of slowly updating everyone round by round here in Toronto, let's just find out what's going down in New York, the Mecca. Okay, okay, they're down to round 7. I think that they're only going 7. Oh man, I'm going to type it in. Is he continuing his reign?
is he is 6-0.
Yeah, so that means he's got to be fighting for the championship, because I think there can only be so many undefeateds, right? So yeah, we've got Valor Ash and Quimby round 7
And
for the
Quinn.
tournament.
Wow, and now it's gonna be a Valor Ash versus Quimby tournament. We have Jake. Also, now he's what 5-1.
Let's find out. He is very
Yep, he's
so
five
he,
and one.
he took an L in round 2, but he's been strong since then.
He's
So
coming
yeah,
back. The
yeah,
thing is, though, this is a 7 round tournament, which means that you are gonna have guaranteed
yeah,
one winner.
yeah. If Valor Ash wins this round, right?
So is
So
Quimby? Is Quimby? He's
He's oh right, you're right. Sorry, I apologize. You're 100% right. You're going to have to be 7-0 to win the tournament because they're both undefeated. So they won't have a tie. But we see a lot of skilled battlers like Call Me Jake, Toshi with 5 wins, House Stark with 5 wins, Big B with 5 wins.
absolutely Toshi, right? He is king of off meta.
Yeah, I've actually let me see if he's running it. So I asked him if I could kind of post of him wrecking me with a specific Pokemon, but you got a tournament coming on. It's got to be secret. So let's see if he brought it. Okay, he didn't.
But he
He
brought slow, bro.
Yeah, he loves Slowbro, and I'm wondering what he's running with it, because instantly I think confusion, right? But we watching the live stream on the TVs, because we've got the New York tournament showing some support to the Ghost Stadium. We saw some water guns pew pewing away, and they did some work. So it'll
I,
be very
can
interesting.
I tell you how much I love when you say pew pew? Like,
I
man,
was That's the sound that I hear when it's just kind of super soaker, right? So
can I get a pew pew? Okay, but again, sorry. Speaking about Toshi and all these great battles, Toshi is the king of the off meta. Can
yeah,
you imagine seeing Toshi and Dark Matter Wolf together,
I
working
can.
together?
Yeah,
Man, like the two kings of off meta.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you battled Dark Matter at GoFest, was it? Is that the like I don't know about famous but infamous battle that he kind of surprised you with his off meta picks?
Absolutely. I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. Even
And
I
then,
went to. Sorry, go ahead.
no, no, go.
I was just gonna say, well, I travel to Michigan sometimes for the tournament. So we're in Canada, got a lot of good tournaments to go to in Ontario, but there is a scene out in Michigan, and another YouTuber also used a lot of off-meta Pokemon. He's not really in the PvP world as much, and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name because it came. He was 3-0 or 4-0, and it came down to the final. I can't believe I brought that up, and I can't remember his name. I'm gonna find out real quick, and we're still waiting. Okay, it looks like they're getting everyone ready. We've got Scotty on stream against Nerd.
Yep. Scotty, again, another great player, right?
Yeah,
Very, very known Toronto player, amazing grinder, right? Like Scotty's the kind of guy
yeah,
that goes out at night and doesn't come back till morning during
grinding.
double, triple
Yeah,
dust events, right? Huge in the PvP scene, and like decided to fall off closer to the end, but now he's like, you know what? Season 2 starts. Let's get it on.
and
And
he
now,
brings in the shiny.
yes,
So Nerd's got his Mawile. He's thinking about does he sub out, but I think he keep. Yeah, Scotty's the one who's got to sub out. And
yes,
Lucario is a very interesting pick for the fighters because it doesn't take the same kind of damage that some of the other Pokemon take. So this is going to be interesting. He does throw the Shadow Ball, so that's a great shield protecting his Marowak.
absolutely. Just farming away right now, finishing off that Lucario. Just that huge J farm, just
I
huge.
was just going to say the J Farm was real there. Great shield, and then you J Farm.
I don't think I've ever been so proud in my life.
Hey, nerds know how to farm.
Yeah,
And in comes the Shadow Ball.
Shadow Ball is going to do a lot of damage. All right, goes to the shield.
Good shield. He probably wanted to protect the energy that he built up.
Exactly. I was just about to say Driftblim right now has a whole lot of energy. Going for the Ominous Wind, not going for Shadow Ball because he knows that he could possibly get the boost,
Yeah,
or he has almost enough energy to pull off a second Ominous Wind.
yeah. And here's the difference, right? We talked about Drift Bloom compared to Marowak. That Bone Club wouldn't have KO'd, right? Doesn't do much damage at all. Gets the shield. Maybe could have thrown a little bait there, but chose not to, right?
I think I would have threw a Bone Club there, right? Hoping for the best and
Yeah.
see what's going to happen.
But if you feel ahead, sometimes throwing that bait could put you behind. But again, not what happens. So in comes Steelix.
Yes. Decided to go with Steelix, knowing that he has Mawile in the back. The reason why he decides to bring Steelix in is because he knows that his Mawile has energy. He wants to get energy on that
Yeah.
Steelix.
Okay.
The
Big
very nice.
crunch. But you can see Slowbro can take a crunch.
Yeah, but you can't take all these bites.
Ooh.
Can't take the bites.
All right. Nerd takes down Scotty in game one. And there's like, if you're not prepared for that sneaky Mawile, right, it's going to do work against your ghosts.
Mawile is definitely a wild card, right?
Yeah.
If you're not prepared for Mawile, you're going to be in a
Yeah.
world of hurt here.
I've gone back and forth, right? I had it on my team of 6, and then I was like, everyone has it on their team of 6, right? And then, again, things change up, right? So we might not see something like Polyroth on every team going forward.
Exactly.
But yeah, Mawile did work. Probably the MVP of that battle, or at least applying that pressure to Scotty. So we'll see how he bounces back.
Get our tournament on.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you. So let's just take a look. I want to actually see these teams.
Yeah, it's a good call. We'll see how Scotty adapts. He's got to bring
The
something.
thing is, he decides to actually go with Mawile because Scotty is not running Poliwrath,
Okay.
right? Malwell can do decent damage to Driftblim, decent damage to the Alolan Marowak, decent damage to the Slowbro, right? And again, it won't do the greatest damage, but he still has some decent matchups against, especially if he's powered up with Power Up Punch, Steelix, Lucario, Bastion.
Yo, even the Mawile against Steelix and Bastiodon, that was what I was very surprised in my practice matches where I thought I had a dominant match and the bite still breaks down a Steelix and a Bastiodon quite nicely.
Exactly. You pull off a power up, you pull off like 4 or 5 power up punches
Yeah,
with a Mawile. That bite, it doesn't matter if you're super effective, if you're
yeah,
neutral, if you're not very effective. That thing is doing huge,
yeah.
huge damage.
Okay, so it looks like Nerds locked in.
Yeah, Nerd's ready.
And right now, thank you again, 100 plus people watching the Go Live stream. We just have the one screen here of Nerd. So we see Nerd's perspective. And I did miss what he locked in with.
I missed it too. I think they're having problems with Scotty's phone right now, and that's
Yeah,
why we can't get it up on stream.
that's okay. As long as we can see one, that's good enough for now. So we don't have any delays in the tournament. And here we go. So he's going to lead with the Haunter.
Haunter going against the Lucario.
Okay, so I don't think the Haunter's as scared, right? He's got to watch out for the Shadow Ball, of course, but you'll see. Okay, Scotty gets it out right away. Good call.
Decided to swap out, hit actually the Shadow Punch, and then going to go swap out to Bastiodon.
Yeah. Now, should he have saved that energy, right? Because, like, again, there's that wall Bastiodon, right, where everyone uses Steelix.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I might have just switched out the Haunter banking that energy or saving it, excuse me, but we'll see how it plays out.
This is a situation where Flamethrower is going to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, but it could take two of them, right?
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
so I think the Steelix should just go.
Go
Ooh, I
straight.
don't know. I was gonna say go for the Earthquake, but we'll see. It's kind of hard
Wow.
not to shield in this situation, though, right?
Yeah. The thing is, though, like if this bait can go very, very bad if he doesn't take it. See?
Okay, good call, right? I thought he was gonna shield.
Yeah.
But
This
now
is
he's
a situation where it's like, oof, now he's
yeah,
leaving the Steelix without any energy for
yeah,
whatever's back in. And remember, he does have a Lucario
yeah.
in the back,
Oh yeah, right.
and he's gonna pull off a Flamethrower.
Okay. So good, great no shield by Scotty, right? Keeping it calm and cool.
Absolutely.
And
But
the
Nerd knowing not to shield because he knows that Lucario is going to come back in, and he doesn't want that
right.
Lucario to farm.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's bad news, right? So
Exactly.
great call. So now what do you bring in?
Bring back bring in the
Oh,
Alolan
I
Marowak.
almost said Haunter as well, right? So
Hunter.
Drift Bloom.
Definitely hit the Shadow Ball and swap to Haunter.
He's got okay. Is he gonna shield?
He should shield
Yeah, he
here.
does shield,
Oh,
right?
okay. Hit
But
the Shadow Ball.
and if he saved that energy from his Haunter, it would be loaded, right?
Exactly. See, this is perfect. Swap out, break the one shield, farm up. Shadow Claw will do a whole lot of work
Yeah,
here.
let's take a look. Yeah, great call, John. There goes the shields.
There goes the second shield. Again, that Haunter still has shields. Oh,
I was gonna say, yeah, let it go. You hang on to your shield, and then hopefully you can farm up with the Marowak to go against his last Pokemon here. We'll see how this plays out.
yes, absolutely. Farm up here. Don't do anything. Just I would shield this.
I would too,
But
yeah.
we gotta be careful. Does that Lucario have energy? That
Maybe
Lucario. See
maybe
that?
that's what Nerd's thinking, but that did a lot of damage.
But that was perfect. That was perfect. Now he has to pull a Shadow Ball.
Oh my God, he
Yes,
did it!
there it is. You know
Wow.
why? You know why? Because if he didn't, and he came in with, if Lucario came in
Yeah.
using the Shadow Ball,
Wow.
he would have to use a shield. He'd be left with energy, and
Yeah.
Shadow Ball would have went off and finished him off.
Great call by John. Probably the best skill displayed on stream by Nerdware in that match, right?
Absolutely.
That was very impressive.
That was extremely impressive. Going in with 1 HP, taking out 2 Mons.
That was so close and risky to not shield that, but the right play.
Definitely the right play.
Wow.
Keep the shield for that just in case surprise Shadow Ball coming in.
And again, because we discussed CMP being random because he still could have used the shield and it's the same outcome, right? Like if he shields that and then still feints with quick moves and then fires off the Shadow Ball, it could be the same result. midstream, right? We let everyone know behind the scenes, right? We got Jay Farmakis pins, got people asking for pins, and how do we not supply the
Yeah,
community with Jay Farmakis pins?
I brought a couple because a couple people wanted to actually
Yeah,
buy them, but I've got a lot more response from it. It was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Those pins are nice, right? And then we've got the Jay Farmakis Discord channel that's blowing up, right? Supporting all the content creators. We've also got Girls That PvP. It's a big movement,
Yep.
right? We've discussed that. So, yeah, big things for you guys on the Jay Farmakis YouTube channel.
Thank you, thank you. I
Yeah,
really do appreciate that, Gemma. Specifically talking about the girls that PvP,
yeah,
I really saw what they were doing, and especially Kachino Mom, right? Kachino
mhm,
Mom's like just
mhm.
absolutely representing so well, just so well. And
Yeah,
I saw what she was doing, and I was like, you know what? I want to be a part of this.
yeah,
I want to put my help in there to kind of make it grow as much as we
yeah,
can, right? And I love what she's doing, and I'm 100% backing her, one thousand
yeah.
percent.
Yeah, and we talked about the New York tournament and then girls at PvP. We've got Ali Lucky.
Yep.
Gave Jimma his first loss at World. So that was my first round matchup. Boom. Took Jim out right away. Won second game and almost beat his name's 000 with some X's from the Florida area. Took
Yes.
him to the final rounds and she almost advanced that World. So there's a lot of ladies doing big things in the community. So got to get the Mawile out, I believe, right? Because
Yep.
this power up punch won't do a lot of damage because of the nerf, right? But can take a little more health away from the Mawile.
Oh,
Yeah. No shield, right? Just that little visual glitch that we see. And Scotty decides to bring in his Drift Bloom.
but again, Driftblim, he has Shadow Ball. He's going for the bait here.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the right move.
It all
I
depends on does he shield or not, right? Because he's so worried about the Shadow Ball,
Oh, of course,
right?
again, yes, you get it, but why? You can get off two Shadow Balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he doesn't shield there, that you put yourself way behind.
Yeah. This nerd is seeing, he's got a vision of what's going down and he's going to, it obviously paid off, but it's so hard to call it, right, in these matches. Because you're right. If he doesn't shield, puts you behind.
Exactly. But now look at this. He's actually going to be pulling up another Bone Club, taking out
It's both
another
shields.
shield.
Wow.
This is oh my god.
This nerd knows what's going down. Because yeah, I like the Drift Bloom over the Marowak in the mirror match, but not if you shield a couple bone clubs.
Exactly. And you know what? I feel like again, they he got the two shields,
Yeah,
but there's two shields on both sides,
yeah,
and lost the lead.
yeah. So they're out of shields. In comes Mawile. Oh, Steelix, my bad. I thought he was going to bring in the Mawile. So okay, we got a little. They can't see what's going on. Never mind. All right, so Omnimus win on the Steelix.
I can't. Okay. Yes. Farm up. Do the crunch.
Right?
It's gonna do some damage. But again, Nerd is still 2-0 right now.
Yeah.
He's taking the win here.
He's trying to go for the 0-2 to the 0-3. Maybe it's got the plan. Okay. Power up punch. Almost fainting. That almost looked like the old power up punch, right? Doing a bit of damage, but just
Wow.
not quite the same. Okay, and our visual of the fight is gone. It's back.
And now again, power up punch is gonna do some work. Let's see. It's going up against Bastidon
Okay.
though. Like that's GG.
Yeah, at least Scotty, gets a win, saving face. He's not going to go for the 0-2 to the 0-3. He's going to get a win. GG Scotty. And that's the end of round 3. I'm sure everyone's patiently waiting for round 4.
Bro, the thing is, like, these guys are such like professional players,
Yeah.
right? We have so many players just completely going up the ranks. We have some new players coming in, taking names.
And I flip-flopped on the answer kind of when you asked me, do I like the third game or do I not like it? But right there, I'm pretty sure Scotty likes having an extra game to get a win, right? So I think there's the advantage. A lot of people, I think, were concerned about the newer players being destroyed 3 games in a row. But I think for players like us, we like to have a fighting chance to at least get a win if we happen to lose the first 2 games.
Exactly. Now let's take a look at these actual rankings. King IV going in 3-0 right now.
Yes.
We also have Manaholics, New Archaic, Guan, right? Hockey Freak, Jamie's, Holding Mech Groin. Like again,
Yeah.
these players, they're so consistent.
Yes.
They're so consistent, and it's like no matter what tournament they're going to, no matter what cup it is,
Yeah.
yes, they'll do better in one over another, but these guys will do well no matter what.
Yeah. And Jamie is from, I believe, the Cambridge area. I hope I said that right. But he makes the drive to the London tournaments as well. So, we mentioned the remote tournaments
Mhm.
in Ghost Stadium, so people don't have to drive. But we know a lot of players that like to make that drive to help build these communities. So it's great that someone like Jamie or simply Moxie will drive up to Toronto to, make tournaments bigger and better. And again, I know we've said it a few times. We're very thankful for everyone coming to the Go live stream. Shout out to all of you guys because that's what makes these tournaments bigger and better. Not just the battlers, but the viewership and the support. Right? They'll tell us when things are not right. They'll keep it real with us, and we really do appreciate everyone joining us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We appreciate everything from this PvP
Yeah.
community. Like
Yeah.
the PvP community is just so supportive.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do, how you do it. They're so supportive. They'll
Yeah.
never talk down to you.
Yeah.
Right? You have people like Valarash who are like consistently going 6-0, 7-0 in tournaments, and he's so willing to help everyone.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh man, let's find out what happened in New York.
yeah,
And we
what's
keep
going
it
on?
real with the audience as well. We've asked for a break. We deserve it. We're just waiting on a break screen. But we got to check out what happened in New York, the mecca of battles right now. Let's see.
C bracket. Let's see.
Well, the
Quinn,
suspense. I can't slide.
Quinn leads
Valor
it.
wow, upset.
Quinn.
It's Valor It's an upset, but Valor losing in the 7th round, giving him, I believe that's his first loss, right? Because Valor went 4-0 in his local tournament,
Yep.
6-0, skyrocketing to the 7th round, and Quimby takes down the New York Sinister Cup.
Wow, Quinby taking it 7-0 sweep, beating Valarash in the last round. Like, man, I gotta see Quinby.
Those battles, yeah.
I can't wait to talk to Quinby.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Toshi, Valor House Stark, all going 6-0 or 6-1, excuse me, in New York. So that must be a hype. That's going to be a great replay for us to watch after.
Absolutely. Let's see. Call me Jake, going 5-2. Again,
Okay.
another great content creator. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice to see him, slow and steady win the race to get to ace. That was very impressive by Jake. We've talked about the community, PvP community altogether, but like us YouTubers have become, a family in a sense of supporting each other as well. And we're on break, so we might be yapping. All right.